What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is D. Anthony. In this video, we're going to go over how we can adjust to the new market. Okay. Whether you believe that the market is completely overbought, whether you believe that the market's going to come crashing down 40%, it's pretty much irrelevant. What we need to kind of focus on here is the technicals. So we're going to start out with a very macro overview looking at the weekly time frame. We're going to start with a very bare chart here. The only thing I really have on this chart is just a simple 20 moving average. I can change this color so we can see it just a little bit better here. But all we have is a 20 SMA on here. And what I'm going to do with this weekly chart is I'm going to put a Fibonacci retracement from essentially today's high all the way down to the tariff debacle, the tariff lows of 2025. Okay, those April lows that we put in. So if we start off here with this Fibonacci, okay, so let's just go ahead and put this on here. It's going to give us some levels that we can look at, and then we're going to examine these particular levels. Okay, so I want to see some things that start to align and some things that sort of make sense. Okay, so if we kind of look at the lows that we had from the 2025 April tariff sell off all the way up to this consolidation where a lot of people are kind of getting it confused between the end of October, November, December. The markets essentially really didn't do anything. If you're a day trader and you trade prop firms, or you trade personal capital, doesn't really matter. You kind of were in the beginning of the year, the end of last year in 2025. You made a little bit of money long, you made a little bit of money short, made a little bit of money long, made a little bit of money short. And you kind of just zoom out and you look and like, we're really not making new highs. We're not making new lows. So if you kind of look at this high that topped out here on October the 27th, down to the 9-10% drop that we had here in March, essentially there was a period between the end of October all the way until about right here in the beginning of March where we didn't do anything. So we're looking at November, December, January, February, 4 months. And then we started to crack down here. And even when we had that little bit of a crackdown, even when the market was kind of grinding down 9%, 10%, it didn't really feel like the I mean, we had the Iran stuff going on, but I mean, it was kind of like, okay, if we're gonna dump, then maybe we start dumping now all the way down to those April lows. And then, kind of from one week to the next, we just started to bounce and continue to bounce and continue to bounce more, leading us up to where we're currently at today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the start of the 7th week here. So about a month and a half, just over a month where the market essentially has not printed a red week in 7 weeks. Okay. So again, this week is just started. Today is the 5th, or excuse me, today is the 11th of May. And how are we going to end up? It's time will tell. So this Fibonacci is definitely going to help us. So if we kind of look at the first pullback area, the first real significant pullback. I mean, again, people are, kind of wondering, where's the top? We don't know that. Where is the support? Well, we kind of got some support, but that support is sitting down at 26,443. So what I would definitely advise not to do is not to go into cash and sell all of your positions and just start trying to pick the top here, because the market is floating on hot air. It can definitely continue to rise over the weeks to come, even months to come, maybe even into Q4. We don't know that, but there's no sign yet. There's no signs technically that are telling us that the move higher is over. So each and every single day you need to approach the the price action with a little bit more of a bullish lean, where maybe not necessarily you're not jumping long right off the open. Maybe you're kind of waiting for the dust to settle for 30 minutes to an hour, waiting for some pullback into a support level, maybe off of a rising hourly, channel, maybe off of a 5-minute consolidation period, maybe a 15-minute orb, 30-minute orb, initial balance, something, right? Maybe you're waiting for something to happen where the market pulls in a little bit, gives you that opportunity to get in at a lower price, and then that way you can ride it up. Okay. But when the market does start to roll over, I'm not saying, okay, and again, when I use the words roll over, I don't mean roll over like this, right? I don't mean just completely nosedive. Okay. Anything's possible, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when the market starts to roll over and consolidate, this move, even a move like this, that could essentially put in a bull flag where the market just continues to rip higher, that move alone could absolutely destroy traders. You can give back a month's worth of trading profits. You can give back an entire year worth of trading profits. Why? Because of the range, because of the volatility. We currently closed at a high price, or we had a high price print of 29,480 today. Okay. A move that, kind of goes to what that I just drew out here, something like this, right? If you have something like that, I mean, it doesn't look significant on the chart, but essentially that takes us down to 28,273. So that takes us down over 1,000 points. That can definitely wreck your month. It can wreck your quarter. And don't be surprised. And again, this is not to put fear into anyone because, again, I'm still continuing to trade long. I still have a portfolio where I'm holding long. I'm trimming runners. And again, my full disclosure, I am trimming runners on my portfolio on positions that are greater than 20 to 25%. Just a hair, right? Just to kind of lock in a little bit of cash. That way, if we do pull back, at least I locked in some at the highs. But what we're looking at here is if your market does pull in 1,000 points, right? It pulls back 4 or 5%. I mean, if you really look at it, the market year over year over the past year, 365 days is up 45%. Okay, so 45%. So a 4, 5, 6% pullback is nothing, right? It's minuscule. It changes nothing. The structure here, right? The structure here is not actually broken until we lose that 9-10% kind of dip that we had here in the middle of March, right? We would need to close below 23,000, okay? 23,000, and then you would need to see something like this, right? Where the market kind of does this and then kind of does that and then it kind of makes this bounce and then kind of gets stalled out somewhere here. And then that would pretty much be a break of structure, right? So until that happens, you have to be very careful going to the long side because any little move, I mean, there was periods of time today. The market kind of moved a little bit slow today considering, but there was periods in time today where a 5-minute candlestick was 60 points, 70 points, 80 points. Now, if you're a scalper and you're trading, prop firms, for example, if you're using the discount code D Anthony and you're trading 20 Apex accounts, you definitely cannot afford to be in a candlestick where you have significant size on and a move's going against you 50, 60, 70 points, right? So you need to buy these dips. You don't want to buy through these breakouts and just want to be mindful, right? You don't want to be bearish. You don't want to pick the top. You just want to be mindful that even though I'm continuing to go with the trend, I understand that the market can pull back and it does not have to put us into a bear market. It does not have to make a new low. It doesn't have to take out the 9% low that we had in March. It doesn't need to necessarily go down to the lows. But any pullback, there's going to be a day where the market, gaps up 200 points and then closes red 500. There will be a day, and everyone's going to be throwing the baby out with the bathwater and thinking this is it, right? This is the big bubble burst, only to get trapped and squeezed out of that because it's not really nothing significant. So for me, how I navigate through these markets and how I, tend to stay a little bit more calmer is I size down a lot, right? I give my trades a little bit more room to breathe because I understand the ranges and the volatility are a little bit deeper, right? They're a little bit bigger. So we're going to have to give these trades enough time to actually play out. You need to give these trades enough time to work out. So make sure your position sizing, the number of contracts that you're entering into each specific trade, even if your intentions are just to scalp, you're trading with size that's not going to damage you. Okay, so that's rule number one. Number two, you can look at things like a daily 5 simple moving average, right? Where is the daily 5? Are we trading over or under it? If we're trading over it, well then for a fact the bulls are still in control until they have a daily candle that closes below the daily 5. I mean, that's your power trend. Some people use the 9 EMA, the 8 EMA, the 10 SMA, it doesn't really matter. Any one of those short-term EMAs, SMAs, 5, 8, 9, you can use whatever one you choose. as long as we're trading over that, the momentum is still with the buyers. I don't care if the market has printed a 75-point red candle. That means absolutely shit until you get a candle that closes below one of those moving averages. And until you get a candle that closes below one of those moving averages, we are still bullish until we back test, get rejected, and then lose a prior day low. So there's a lot of things that need to play out in order for us to say, hey, this run is over, right? We're no longer going to, float on hot air, it seems like, for eternity. So continue to trade with the trend. The only thing you need to do is make sure that you're trading a little bit smaller. Make sure that even though you're looking at some of these bigger candles and saying, man, I could just get long and hold it all day, don't necessarily do that. Treat your trades as scalps, size down. And this is all about capital preservation in these times. Just like as if we were in a deep bear market and the market seems to go down and down and down and down every day, you want to take a lot of risk off the table and make sure that you're just protecting yourself. These are perfect times for a lot of traders to make a lot of money. Two ways. One, if you're down long, right, and you're holding long somewhere here where you were buying this dip all the way down, this is a great time for you to make a lot of money. For us day traders, it's a great time to make a lot of money because the trend is seemingly only going one way, right? So wait for your dip, buy your dip, take your scalp, make your little bit of cash when we go up, make a little bit of cash when we go up, make a little bit of cash when we go up. You're just taking bits and pieces of this move by having super small risk and managing yourself in a way where, if the market does pull back on a day, and that's the day where we, go down 500 points and we're going to back test and go down maybe 10%, and the market's going to come consolidate down at this level, because remember, we have not tested the area of 26,443. We haven't tested that area. So we still need to get down into this area and at least test that to see if we're going to continue higher. Again, we could lose that area. That's only taking us to the 23.6% retracement. If it was me and I was looking for a significant pullback, a significant correction, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for at least a pullback into this range. I'm looking for at least a pullback into this range, 23,000, 24,000, 26,000. This, yes, would seem like the world's coming to an end and it's like, oh my gosh, I missed out on the entire move up and now the market's going to completely sell off. But if you look at it, all that would be doing would be putting in higher lows and building out a enormous flag where the market can find some serious stability and continue to the upside. So again, there's a lot of things that can definitely happen. Here's what the major key takeaways, okay? Understand that instead of buying the day's breakouts off the open, wait for the dust to settle, wait for us to come back in either to an hourly 15-minute, 30-minute support and try to get in as best with as little as risk possible next to one of these support levels. Number two, don't look at this market and say, I'm missing out on a bunch of money because I'm not making a lot of points per trade. Like, don't look at these markets being up 300, 200, ranges of 500, 600 points in a day and telling yourselves, I need to capture 100 points on this trade. Pick off 5 points, pick off 12 points, pick off 8 points. 2 or 3 trades taking 7 points and 10 points is 17 points. You can make a honest, earnest living off of taking 10 to 15, 20 points a day and calling it a day. These markets don't provide an area of opportunity to become super rich. They provide an opportunity where you can stay consistent and solvent long enough to where you can stack up your accounts and get those payouts, right? So again, just remember, the higher we go up doesn't necessarily mean that the market's just going to come crashing down to new lows, but the higher up we go just means that there's a lot more room until our definitive supports. Okay, so like we have a clear double top here. Okay, we have a clear breakthrough, but we've got no back test yet. Okay, this is the only thing that worries me, because if the market does start to come down, at a bare minimum 26,500 needs to get tested. Okay, and I'm a full-on bull. I want the market to continue higher, but I just know for any type of real structure to be put in here, healthy structure, when this does put in a back test, it's got to come down into this range at a bare minimum. At a bare minimum, having a candle close red one day up here and then do something like this means nothing, right? This is just consolidation for the market to keep floating higher. Okay. A back test is actually blowing it off and then putting in a new low, back testing, and now forming a lower high where it staircases down and consolidates at this level. That's going to be our true test. Our true test is 26,500s. Until we test 26,500s, continue to play the longs. Just size down, look for smaller scalps, and be a lot more patient, because in a market like this, you're going to get a winning trade, two winning trades really, really easy when the market is just kind of floating up, right? There's not a whole lot of work that needs to be done. You just need to be disciplined and actually have enough patience to wait for that opportunity. Stop getting to the charts in the morning. As soon as the bell rings, you want to take that first move, whether it's long or short. Stop doing that. Stop waiting for, oh, well, here's the 15-minute ORB, the 30-minute range, or the initial balance. Okay, we broke that range. The next candle kind of pulled back for 30 seconds and now it's going up again, and then jump into that trade. Give yourself some time. Allow 2 or 3 candles to print. Allow us to break the 30-minute ORB. Allow 4, 5, 6, 7 candles on a 5-minute time frame. Allow it to come back. Allow it to start to chop, 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 chop. And then as soon as you see a nice push up, then you can use the low to make that as your max pain stop loss, and you can catch that 15-point scalp, that 12-point scalp, and call it a day, right? Your whole job here is to wait. Wait, wait, wait. Each and every single given week, you're probably going to have 3 opportunities where you're going to make the majority of your money. Okay. Unless you're a hyper scalper taking 3, 4 points and just being in and out of these things like a high frequency trader, you're going to have about 3 to 4 opportunities a week that are going to make or break you. A lot of times traders make small cash, small cash, small cash, getting in and out, in and out, in and out. And then it's like that one opportunity that you miss and you just mistimed it or you're oversized, boom, you give everything back, right? We want to flip that narrative. We don't want to get involved in too much of the up down stuff. We kind of want to wait for those 3 or 4 opportunities a week, because typically those 3 or 4 opportunities a week that you get on any given day, and it could come at the beginning of the week, it could come at the end of the week. But those 3 or 4 trade ideas that you have realistically is going to compensate for the entire P&L. So hopefully you guys took something away from this. If you did, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you guys need Apex evaluations, use code DAnthony, 90% off. If you guys want to join the Discord, my trading community at Evolution Traders, that link is down in the description box below. You guys can come in, you guys can join, try it out for 30 days, see if it's a fit for you. Very tight-knit group, very small group, very focused groups. We don't have to filter through a million different channels with a million thousand different subscribers in there, each giving their own opinion. There's about 10 traders in there each and every single day who are trying to work together or ask for help or throwing their idea out along with my analysis. That's meant to help everyone, okay? Because again, the more traders that you can sit with in a tight-knit community and make money with, the better off you're going to be. I'll see all of you guys on the next video.